Step 1, ingredients. For this, you're going to need chocolate chips, butter, white sugar, brown sugar, 2 eggs, vanilla extract, unsifted or baking flour, baking soda, and salt. Step 2 is getting together your kitchen items. For this, you're going to need a whisk and a bowl, another bowl, and some measuring cups. That's it. That's everything you're going to need. Next step. Oh, by the way, you're also going to want some cookie trays, so make sure you get your hands on some of those. Step 3 is preparations. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Step 4, dry mix. Make sure you do not put anything wet in any of these objects, or else you will regret everything. And I mean everything. Okay, so you're going to need to get 2 1/4 cup of your flour and put it in the bowl. Yeah, just like that. A good method, which you'll see me use, is to kind of shove it in there, shove the spoon in there, and get like the biggest scoop possible, and then take a knife, like a steak knife for example, and use the back to kind of push, just kind of push it all back like that, and then cut it off the top, and it looks really satisfying if you want to put it in internet terms, and yeah, there you go. Okay, next you're going to want to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Then, after opening your salt, add 1/2 teaspoon of it to the dry mix. Now, you don't have to be too exact with this, but you do have to be kind of careful to not add way too much salt, because then you have salty cookies instead of sweet cookies. I mean, unless you want salty cookies, in which case you can add as much salt as you want. Then, after adding your salt, use your whisk to mix it together as well as you can, and this is going to be your dry mix. Step 5 is the wet mix. So the first thing you have to do is melt your butter, 1 cup of your butter, and take that 1 cup of butter and melt it however you want. It has to be completely liquid, and then we can get to the rest. In another bowl, put your wet butter, 3/4 cup of white sugar, and 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar. To make sure that your brown sugar is packed, that just means put the spoon in, or your measuring spoon, and hold it against the side of the bag as you drag it out. That way it comes out in almost clumps. Next, you have to just beat it. I recommend using an electric whisk for this part, as it'll beat it much better than you can with a hand whisk. So keep beating it until it gets to a kind of lightish brown, pasty almost. And as you're beating it, you're going to want to add in your 2 eggs and your vanilla extract. To be exact, you're going to want 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. It's important that you put these in it as you're beating the mix as well. Make sure you don't do it after or before. Step 6 is to mix. Put your wet mix with your dry mix and beat them together and add whatever cookie ingredient you want. I'm going to be using chocolate chips, and for this I recommend 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, but you know what, whatever floats your boat is fine. You can use raisins, you can use oatmeal. This is the part where you add your toppings. Step 7 is to bake. Take your dough out and lay it out on a sheet and try to space out the cookies as much as possible. Our cookies are a little bit too close together, and we ended up with just a mass cookie. So yeah, you should try to spread it out as much as you can, but other than that, this is pretty much the last step. Bake your cookies for 8 to 10 minutes. We had to do about 9. And try to check in on your cookies as much as you can. If your cookies are too soft, you can always put it back in, but if they're too hard, it's really hard to soften them again. So I recommend taking it out a little earlier and risking them being too soft than waiting till the end of 10 minutes and risking them being really hard. Anyways, that is your chocolate chip cookies done. Thanks for watching, and if you want a recipe for something to eat before this, because of course this is dessert, click the link you see on the screen on the left. If you want something else by me, click the link you see on the right. Now, because you stayed around this long in the video, I'm gonna give you a quick tip. If you want to soften your cookies, put them in a Ziploc bag next to a slice of bread and leave them there overnight. They should be soft by the morning.